Hello, good evening and welcome to today's session. How are we doing? Hi Mavir, hi Aryan, hi Harsh. So today's session is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to learn how to incorporate idioms into our speaking responses, which is going to definitely take your score up by a lot of notches, not just one notch. And the thing with idioms is a lot of times when students try and incorporate idioms into their responses, it sounds forced, it sounds unnatural, awkward, doesn't just fit right. So we're going to figure out how to incorporate idioms without making idioms the center of attention. The way to do it, the way to properly make idioms a part of your speech is to not put all the attention of the sentence onto the idiom. The idiom needs to enhance the meaning of your sentence. The sentence needn't be crafted around the idiom, all right? Always add an idiom if it helps the meaning of your sentence. Don't craft a sentence around an idiom. So it's a challenge for you. I'm going to give you different speaking prompts and I want at least one or two sentences which can be a part of the response for those speaking prompts with an idiom in them. But before I do that, I'm going to take you through a list of 40 idioms. I'm going to give you some time to just go through the list, read the different idioms. If there are any idioms that you don't know, you can ask me for the meaning and I'll give you a brief explanation. And you can use those 40 idioms as your bucket or your, what do you call it? I don't know, the word will come to me. When it does, I'll tell you what the word is. But that's going to be your pool out of which you can pick out idioms and use them in your responses. Obviously, there are not just 40 idioms in English. So if you know any other idioms, feel free to use them as well. This is the basic agenda of today's session. Hi, Yashu, how are you doing? What is the what? Okay, so you asked me a very good question, Neon Penguin TV. There are many scholarships that don't just rely on strong academics because there are many aspects to our personality. You might not be a gifted student in terms of studies, but you might be very gifted when it comes to a sport or debate or an extracurricular. So yes, there are scholarships that are not very academic. Okay, yes, that are not very academic focused, but the thing is, everybody has different profiles. When you curate your application, you're going to showcase a certain personality of yourself, right? And everybody has a different personality. What colleges look at, and especially when they're awarding you scholarships, is how it comes across as a whole. So it's not that just because you won some national chess championship, you automatically qualify for a scholarship. No, it's that winning of the chess championship plus many other things that form your application, right? So I can't give you a very generic list of scholarships that you can look at because that's not how it works. Which is why you need someone to go through your application, go through your profile, go through all your qualifications, and then figure out what the best next step for you is. Obviously, I cannot do that through a YouTube video. You need to sit down with someone, give them all of your information, and based on that information, they're going to tell you what will and will not work for you. This has to be very tailored to your particular needs. I can't make generalized videos about this, which is why there is free counseling, very top-notch free counseling available for you. You just have to fill out this form. If you are serious about wanting to study abroad and would like to get the wheels in motion, then this is absolutely necessary. It's crucial for you to fill out this form so that you can be contacted by someone who's an expert in directing and guiding students for this very purpose. Please fill out the form. It's in the description. You will be contacted by a counselor in 24 hours, and that counselor is going to get a basic understanding of what you want to do in life, and then you're going to be redirected to someone who specializes in that. All right, so Neon, I make a video that's going to be of no use to you, but If you fill out this form, you will benefit from it tremendously. So my advice to you is just fill out this form. All right, now let's get started with the session. This is your list of first 10 idioms. Okay, everybody, get into studying mode. First 10 idioms. I will give you last 5 minutes of the session to ask me generic questions like I can't do this, I'm not fluent, this is not happening, that is not happening. You can talk to each other, obviously, but if you want to ask these questions to me specifically and you want me to give you some kind of advice, then let's keep the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long it takes after we're done accomplishing what this session is set out to do, so that the other students who are attending do not get distracted. Okay, now are there any idioms in this list that you don't know? Please tell me quickly. I can read them out for you. A blessing in disguise, burn the midnight oil, hit the nail on the head, on the same page, a double-edged sword, the best of both worlds, out of the blue, a piece of cake, once in a blue moon, easier said than done. There are some here that do sound a bit awkward. For example, I'm not a huge fan of burning the midnight oil. I've never been able to incorporate it naturally into a sentence, but other than that, like this, and even this. Okay, so basically everything other than burn the midnight oil, I think I can safely say I use on a daily basis. On a daily basis, without even realizing, I am able to say all of these in different contexts. Okay, you don't know the meaning of 2nd, 6th, 7th, 9th and 10th. Okay, second, burn the midnight oil. What it means is staying up all night to work hard at something. For example, if you stay up to prepare for a test, what did you do? You burnt the midnight oil to prepare for the test. So it's staying up all night in preparation or working towards something. All right. Then we have 6, which is the best of both worlds, where somebody doesn't, you can use this in the context that somebody has to make a choice, right? For example, somebody tells you that if you study in India, what are the advantages of studying in India? You get to stay close to home, right? It's cheaper, easier on the pocket, affordable, right? You're with your own kind of people. You don't feel like a foreigner, right? So you feel like you belong, okay? And then if you study abroad, what are the advantages of this? The advantages of this can be world-class education, right? It can be exposure, amenities, right? So then maybe there's a university in India itself that is a bit more expensive than other universities, but it offers all of these things. It has world-class education, it has exposure because a lot of people from different countries come and study in this university. It has amenities, but it's also close to home. It is also more affordable because you don't have to live in a foreign country and you can always feel like you belong here because it's in your country. So this university, you can say, offers the best of both worlds. So when something offers the best of both worlds, that means it has the advantages of both the things that you're weighing against each other. Does that make sense? I gave you a very elaborate and contextual example. And you can also say it in a way where you're telling someone that this is not possible, where you're saying that you want the best of both worlds, but you can't get it. You can't get the best of both worlds. All right? Then what do we not know? We don't know 7, out of the blue, randomly, unexpectedly, when something happens without you having even the slightest hint that it's going to take place, right? It happens out of the blue. Mahavir, it was a fictional university that I made up for the point of this example, okay? I'm not referencing an actual university. Okay, then we have 9 and 10. 9th is once in a blue moon. So once blue moon is what? It's a very rare occurrence, right? It's not something you see every day. So when something happens rarely, you know, that's it happening once in a blue moon. And a lot of times we use this idiom with a hint of sarcasm, right? Like he cleans his room once in a blue moon. Easier said than than done. When somebody is giving you advice, there are a lot of gyani type people who like telling you ki aisa karo, waisa karo, they keep saying that, your situation is not that bad, all you have to do is this. That's when you say it's easier said than done. All the advice that you're giving, it's very easy to put into words, but implementing it is difficult, okay? Mahavi, I do not understand your question. I'm so sorry. What, why? Okay, next set of idioms. If you don't know any of these, then let me know and I will give you an explanation. If I missed out any from the previous list, I'll just quickly check. Out of the blue. For example, a friend of yours moved from school, moved to a different city, you lost touch with him, not on social media, and suddenly one day he shows up in school or outside school. So he has shown up out of the blue, right? Or something can happen out of the blue. What did you write by mistake? For example, if somebody gets angry at you and you did not see it coming, you're having a normal conversation with somebody and suddenly they get really angry, you're like, why are you so mad out of the blue? What happened? Hanji, it means achanak se, without warning, without any sort of indication, you didn't have the slightest idea that this is going to happen, okay? Alright, any idioms here that you do not know? Go the extra mile in hot water, kill two birds with one stone, over the moon on cloud 9. In the long run, these are quite similar, mean to be very, very happy. In the long run, let the cat out of the bag, the ball is in your court, between a rock and a hard place, step out of your comfort zone. (17 and 19). Okay, let the cat out of the bag. Now let's try and start guessing the meaning of idioms. So see, if you look at this one, for example, in hot water. If you put your hand in hot water, what happens? It burns. So it's negative. You can sort of figure out that it's sort of negative implication. So here we can guess the meaning that in hot water means to be in trouble. Okay. Now here, let the cat out of the bag means what? Why would you put a cat in a bag? And why is somebody asking you to take it out of the bag? What can that mean? Let's try guessing the meanings. If somebody keeps a cat in a bag, right, why would they do it? To hide the cat, right? But what if accidentally they open the bag and the cat plops out of it? What happens then? Everybody gets to know that there was a cat in this bag. So something that you were meant to hide, now everybody knows about it. So what can the idiom mean? What do you think that means? See, idioms have some logic in their formation, right? So we can try reverse engineering and guessing what they mean. Yes, very good, Harsh. So when you accidentally reveal a secret, you don't wish to, but you reveal a secret, accidentally reveal a secret. For example, you're planning a surprise birthday party for a friend and you accidentally go to that friend and you're like, hey, so are you ready for Friday evening? Now, Friday evening was supposed to be a surprise party for that friend. You went and asked, are you ready? Are you excited for Friday evening? What have you done? You've let the cat out of the bag. You have accidentally revealed to the friend that there's a surprise party for them. Okay? 19, between a rock and a hard place. How would you define a rock? It's hard. A rock is hard. So if you are between a rock and a hard place, if you're between, is there really any difference? is there really any difference between the two? A rock is hard. You're between a rock and a hard place. So if you go to the rock, still a hard place. If you go to the hard place, obviously a hard place. So when you're stuck in between, and you're stuck in a situation where any decision you take is going to be difficult or going to be hard. The Hindi counterpart of this is आगे कुआं पीछे खाई. It's the same thing. आगे जाओगे तो भी गिरोगे, पीछे जाओगे तो भी गिरोगे. Same thing here with hardness. It's being expressed. Here, कुआं and खाई is expressing it through depth. Here we are expressing it through hardness. यहाँ भी rock, यहाँ भी rock. All right. So now, even if you come across an idiom that you don't know, you can try and guess the meaning of the idiom. Shivangi wants to know 14 and 15. 14 and 15 are both the same. It means being extremely happy. Okay. So, on cloud 9, Hindi counterpart, सातवें आसमान पर, and over the moon. So, when you're over the moon or when you're on cloud 9, that means you're extremely happy about something. Okay. And a lot of these idioms will have some Hindi counterpart that you can think of, or it can have a counterpart in your native language as well, which you feel free to share with us if you know. All right, next set of idioms. Take something with a grain of salt in full swing, break the ice, a tough nut to crack, keep something at bay, fall through the cracks, under the weather, back to the drawing board, rule of thumb, time flies. Quickly tell me which ones you don't know. I'm just going to take a sip of water in a second. Till then, tell me what you don't know, but also tell me the meaning that you are able to guess from the words of the idiom itself. Okay, Mavi, you're saying 21. See, all idioms tell a story. Try to understand that story, okay? Try to come up with... Somebody put in some logic to make this idiom, right? So, try to go back and try and figure out that logic. Take something with a grain of salt. Take something with a grain of salt. Think about it for a second. When do you put salt in something, and is salt always desirable? Is salt always desirable? Okay, so I actually pulled out the etymology story for you because it's interesting. So you know how this has happened in India also, where you might have heard stories where Chanakya used to give Chandragupta Maurya small doses of poison so that if he actually gets poisoned, his body has built some kind of immunity against the poison, right? You might have heard this story. So the etymology of this idiom is similar. It's from Rome, and a Roman king, his name was Mithridates VI of Pontus. He developed an immunity to poisons because the naturalists, which were the doctors back then, Pliny was the one, he used to give him small doses of poison, and to counter the effects of the poison, he used to give him some other things to drink over it that included salt. So salt in the past acted like an antidote to poison, and this is where the idiom has originated from, where if someone gives you poison, what is poison? In this case, poison is some sort of information that can have lies or exaggerated claims, right? Something that is untrue in that information. Somebody tells you something, if and it has a degree of lie in it or some sort of exaggeration in it. That's the poison. So what should you do? You should take this poison with a grain of salt. What that means here is, against this, this will work. And in this case, grain of salt is what? Your own critical thinking, right? This is how the idiom developed. This is the development of the idiom. Now, how can you sort of understand this idiom? This means that whenever somebody gives you any sort of information, don't trust it 100%. Always be a little bit skeptical. So if somebody comes and tells you that, you will easily get into that university, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Even my brother got into it. It's actually not that hard. Then you take what he's saying with a grain of salt because he might be exaggerating. All right? Does that make sense? So इसकी इतनी interesting backstory है, and a lot of idioms have an interesting backstory. If you read the backstory, then you will get to understand the idiom even better. Okay, all right? So that's the association with this idiom. Otherwise, if you want to think about it, then just ज़्यादा कोई मीठी मीठी बातें करे तो उनकी मीठी बातों में मत आओ. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay, ऐसे भी याद रख सकते हो. 22, in full swing. Full swing क्या होता है? Full motion. So when you start something in full swing, that means you start properly. For example, if there is a competitive exam that you think you need to be preparing for. एक तो होता है you start thinking about it that okay, I need to take this exam, I will start preparing for it. You do a little bit of research, and then once you start studying, for example, for JEE or NEET and stuff like that, then you have a timeline. You know you have to complete this much syllabus in the given amount of time. So when you start properly preparing for it, that means you've done it in full swing. Start preparing in full swing. All right? Very good, Sanjam. The sooner the better, and that's great. All right. Any other that you don't know? Everything else is good to go. We can move on. Last set of idioms here. Learn the ropes, pull someone's leg, up in the air, actions speak louder than words, bite the bullet, change of heart, throw in the towel, miss the boat, think outside the box, make ends meet. Any idioms that you don't know out of these? Okay, 36, a change of heart. When does your heart change? Your heart is how you feel. So change of feeling. You believed something and then you changed your opinion or you changed how you feel. So you've had a change of heart. For example, at first, somebody refused to help you. You went to somebody, maybe you went to your brother for help and he said, no, I'm not going to help you out. And then he thought about it. He's like, मैं नहीं मदद करूँगा तो और कौन करेगा? So he had a change of heart and he decided to help you. Okay? Oh no, you all want class 10 lectures. Class 10 is such an easy class. Why do you want lectures for it? Learn the ropes. Learn the ropes means to learn everything that is a part of the process. So for example, if you join a new job, for example, you get to go abroad and you start working at a coffee shop part-time. Then you need to learn the ropes. What that means is you need to learn how to work the coffee machines, you need to learn how to take orders, how to give orders to people, how to bill for them, how to print stuff, right? So all of this is a part of your job. You need to learn the ropes to be able to do it, okay? 38 and 40. Miss the boat means miss an opportunity. A boat is an opportunity to go somewhere. You sit in the boat and you go somewhere. If you miss the boat, that means you've missed your chance, missed your opportunity, okay? All right, Ananya, I will try. Just because you asked so sweetly, I will definitely try. Okay? And we have 40. Make ends meet. To make ends meet means to get by. For example, if somebody is struggling financially, it becomes very difficult for them to make ends meet. That means how much ever they are able to earn, they need more than that to survive, to buy food, to maybe pay for their kids' education, stuff like that. So it's difficult for them to make ends meet. All right? Okay, so these are your 40 idioms in the bank. Now you have a bank of 40 idioms that you can use. If you know any others, then feel free to use them as well. And now the real challenge begins, where you need to use an idiom to answer each question. I want 1 or 2 sentences. I'm not asking you to give me full responses, but I want 1 or 2 sentences. Describe a time when you were very happy. I need you to use an idiom over here to talk about a time when you were very happy. Elliot, it will be provided to you after the class, all right? If you want this PDF, I will get it to you after the class. Quickly, your challenge has begun. Use an idiom to answer the question. Let's see who's able to use an idiom in the most natural way possible. You can talk about your own lived experience. You can talk about something fictional, but make sure you're using an idiom over here quickly. Let's see who becomes the idiom king or queen after this class. Shivu, first step is to start paying attention to what is being taught. Alright, and slowly you will learn English. Can't happen in one day, can't happen through one course. It is a process, it is a time-consuming process, and it requires effort and consistency both. Come on. Not at all, quick dits. You are trying to do some rage bait over here, and that's not working. Not at all feeling bad. Very happy, in fact. I am feeling bad that you're not able to answer the question. Okay, my happiness was off the charts recently when I came to know I had passed my exam. I was not expecting this as I did not study much, and it truly amazed me. So, not very natural. We won't say my happiness was off the charts. It seems like a very, even though you used off the charts, which is good, it seems like a very rare way of using this. Like, this is not how it's normally done to express happiness, right? How would you say this normally? If you were just extremely happy about something, that you will say, I couldn't believe that I passed my exam. I was shocked that I actually managed to pass my exam. We use off the charts generally in what kind of a situation? For example, when it comes to health, you can say that some particular parameter of yours was off the charts. Absolutely. Why would I forget you? How are you doing? Did you get your score back? How was your test? Although it was a good attempt, I'm not going to say that your response is wrong. I am just saying that's not a normal way of starting an answer. In the beginning of the answer, you'd just be like very casual, I would say. You won't use an idiom right then and there. Harsh, why are you talking like this? Why weren't you happy? So that's good. 7 is a good band. What was the requirement for the colleges that you're interested in? Reading, you did really well. Okay, so can you say something like, when I opened the and saw that I got accepted, I was over the moon. Can you say something like this? Does that sound natural? Is that a very normal way of saying this? I was over the moon. Okay, and whenever you're using idioms, don't make it seem like you've structured the entire sentence around the idiom. Warlord, the problem with your response was it seemed like your response was structured around the idiom. No, the idiom should become a very natural part of your sentence, not the other way around, okay? Thank you, Jad. That's great. I wish we had more time to prepare. You would have done better, but still it's a good band, so don't worry. Shivu, you can still learn English. You don't need coaching to learn English. There is a video on this channel which explains the things you need to do before IELTS to improve your English. It's called Improving Your English Before the IELTS, I think. You watch that video, and that I've told you exactly what you need to do to improve your English. If you follow everything that I've said in that video, then I guarantee you that your English will improve. Elliot, start by yourself. You don't have to really start with an expensive app. And in general, like, you see so much criticism that apps are receiving, even Duolingo for that matter, because they're integrating AI. And it's still the nascent stage of AI integration, right? They haven't mastered that. So a lot of these apps are also making mistakes. There are glitches in the apps. So don't be so dependent on an app or a platform to learn English. You can do it by yourself. All right, start putting in the effort by yourself. All right, there was a voice breaking. I hope it has been fixed now. Let's try the next one. Do you think money brings happiness? I want you to use an idiom over here. I think it was just a little bit of a network issue. Should be fixed now. Yes, feedback is important, and I've told you how you can get feedback from free resources like ChatGPT. You don't have to pay for a platform. Other platforms are charging you premiums, charging money, and also using what? ChatGPT, which is available to you for free as well. Right? So make use of these free resources before you start shelling out money. You can ask Chat, you can have a conversation with ChatGPT, prompt it to tell you exactly the things that you need feedback for. Tell ChatGPT, hey, if I make a grammatical mistake, can you please correct it? Could you suggest better ways for me to frame this question so I sound more like a native speaker? And also, do you think this response is a well fleshed out response, or do you think I should add more details? So you can prompt ChatGPT like this, tell it specifically what you want it to give you feedback on, and it'll do that for you for free. None of you are using idioms in your responses. Why? What does it say? Use an idiom to answer each question. I don't see any idioms, and I gave you 40 idioms that you could choose from, and yet you're not able to give me an idiom over here. I can give you a sample response. I would say something like, I think it depends while we do need money for survival, it's that's a sample answer with an idiom that's being used naturally. It doesn't stick out. It doesn't seem like the entire answer revolves around the idiom. It's just a very natural part of the response. I think it depends. While we do need money for survival, too much of it can make us materialistic. It's definitely a double-edged sword, and striking the right balance is key. Does the idiom seem like a separate piece that was attached later into the answer? No. What is it helping us do? It's helping us enhance the meaning of our response. Okay? Shivu, like I told you, if you watch that video that I'm talking about on the channel, I've already done this. You are joining us now. We have been having regular live classes. So I have taken a full class where I've given you exactly what you need to do on a daily basis to improve your English. It's called Improving Your English Before IELTS. You will find that video. It happened last week only. So please take a look at that. Elliot, see the 40 idioms that I gave you today, those are very easy to learn. So you can learn all 40 of those, and I think that should be enough. That's more than enough for you to incorporate idioms here and there in your responses. Yes, this is definitely a part 3 question, but not all of them were part 3. For example, this is a part 2 question, describe a time when you were happy. Questions that start with describe are part 2 questions. Talk about a time, describe a time. Questions like those are part 2 questions. This is a part 3 question. If you actually got a band 9 in the IELTS, that is fantastic. I am so proud of you, but I'm not going to give you false hope that that is all you need to get into Stanford. Stanford is a really competitive space. A lot of people are applying. The competition is very, very high. There are many other things that need to be considered, which is why I'm telling you, if you have goals like this, that I want to go to Stanford, I want to go to NYU. I want to go to Columbia. If you want to go to an Ivy League, that's a different ball game altogether. So this is why you need career counseling, which you will get in the description if you just fill the form. Okay, next question. Do you enjoy cooking? Can you incorporate an idiom here? I can give you an example. So here, what have I done? I've incorporated an idiom very seamlessly into my narrative. Set a narrative first. Figure out what you want to say. Then you're not going to be like, hi, tell me some cooking themed idioms, and then use cooking themed idioms if you're asked about this. No, that's not how this works. You can use any idiom as long as it suits your narrative, what you're trying to say. What am I trying to say here? I used to think cooking would be extremely easy because my mother did it so effortlessly. It was only when I started doing it that I realized how difficult it actually can be. So here, what did I say? I said growing up watching my mom make 5-course meals on a daily basis, I used to think cooking is a piece of cake. What does piece of cake mean? Something that is very, very easy to do. It was only when I started living alone that I realized how hard it is. All right. So this is again a natural inclusion of an idiom in our narrative. Elliot, you have not used an idiom. The entire point of this exercise is to incorporate idioms. Okay, so Harsh, you've also used a piece of cake. Now let's try using some other idiom here. I really had to step out of my comfort zone. That is an idiom that you can use here. When I realized that I can't eat out every day and I have to prioritize my health, I had to step out of my comfort zone and start meal planning and doing stuff like that to really focus on cooking. You can use think outside the box. I enjoy cooking because you can experiment so much with it. I don't make normal traditional meals. I always like to think outside the box and experiment with my cooking. I love fusion food and I try to mix 2 or 3 cuisines every time I am cooking. Okay? So see, what idiom was I able to use? Think outside the box. All right, next. Do you like spending time alone? Do you like spending time alone? How can you answer this with an idiom? Quickly now. I will not help you this time. I helped you in all the questions. I'm not going to help you now. I want some of your answers first and then I will give you one, all right? Quickly, come on. It's so sad, Crickets, that you're trying to outsmart me and you can't even spell the word correctly. How unfortunate. I feel so bad for you. I have no advice for you. You can keep yapping in the chat. I'm very good at ignoring. Let's see, you can find many coachings that claim that they can teach you spoken English. You can find many platforms that can tell you online that, we are going to train you and in 15 days or 20 days, you're going to be speaking fluent English. But I can also tell you that none of them work. And the tips and tricks that they're giving you, the kind of practice that they're making you do, you can very well do those things on your own. Again, like I said, make use of ChatGPT to practice. You can practice speaking with ChatGPT. You can have conversations. You can use any other AI chatbot that you're comfortable with, and you will achieve the same results. All right? Yeah, Cricket, who said I'm a real teacher? I am AI generated. Okay, very good. English beat stories. That's a good answer, but it does not incorporate an idiom. What are we trying to learn today? In today's class, we are trying to learn how to make idioms a natural part of our speaking responses. All right? So you need to incorporate an idiom here. Here's an answer. All right? So definitely, I'm a loner and I love being by myself. Once in a blue moon, I go out with friends, but I always feel drained and tired afterwards. Okay, so here, very naturally made that idiom a part of my narrative. All right? Yes, we have daily classes, Monday to Saturday. Shivu, you can speak English to, like I said, if you don't have anybody around you that you can practice speaking English with, then you can do it with AI. Use ChatGPT. There is a voice option, speaking option. Make use of that. All right? Let's see if there is some other idiom that we can also use here. Many you can use in the long run. Step out of your comfort zone. That's a big one. I do love spending time alone, but my job requires networking, and that's why I really need to step out of my comfort zone and make an effort to talk to other people. That's one example. You can use there are a lot of things you can use. You can say, no, I hate spending time alone. Every time I'm alone, I tend to get depressed and I am bombarded with thoughts that I would rather keep at bay. So thoughts that you would rather keep at bay. Keep at bay is the idiom that we're using here. They all come to you when you're alone. That's why I try to distract myself with company. Okay? So there are many idioms that you can use depending on the kind of answer that you're trying to craft. Exit. Yes, that's a good answer. And you recharge my batteries, have some peace and quiet. Good. So you didn't use an idiom, but you used a phrase that is generally used and can serve as an idiom here, which is recharge your batteries. So that's great. Alit, yes, you can also go back. The video will be available. It will get published. It will be available for you to see once the class is over. So you can take screenshots at your convenience, all right? You can go back when I showed you all the idioms one by one. We spent a lot of time on each slide. So you can easily take the screenshots once the class is over. Last one, describe a time you helped someone. Describe a time you helped someone. My own company means spending time with myself. Company has two meanings. One is the organization, company, the place that people work for. The other is the people around you, the people that you're spending time with. That is your company, the company you keep. All right? Describe a time you helped someone. Remember to incorporate an idiom in your response. No idiom, no answer. This Kishu, I might be saying your name wrong. 1460 is a good score, but let me pull out some statistics real quick. So the average SAT score for admitted student in Harvard typically falls in the range from 1490 to 1580. Let's see for Stanford. Stanford typically falls between 1500 to 1570. But the thing is, they don't have a cutoff. It's not like these universities have an SAT cutoff that only if you get this minimum required SAT score, then you will get in. Obviously, if your application otherwise is strong, even with a 1460, there are chances that you get in. But otherwise, generally 1500 and above is preferred for a lot of these really good universities, especially Ivy Leagues. Very good exit. So yes, using in hot water is very straightforward and helpful here. Someone was in hot water and obviously you helped them out, okay? Gave him a hand and shared mine. He was over the moon and thanked me. Very good. So you used two idioms. Great job. Yes, I do like spending time. It's already done. English, next one. Okay, I helped a friend in a pinch and together we made it happen. Made what happen? Why was he in a pinch? And what does being in a pinch mean? They were grateful from the bottom of their heart. If you're talking about a personal experience, why are you using a gender neutral pronoun? You can say he was thankful or she was thankful. All right, good. Good job. English, best stories. Okay, B-Stream, I will make a video specifically for Hindi medium students, how they can crack the IELTS or improve their English. All right. So here, I'm not going to write a response, but in hot water was over the moon. You can also use learn the ropes here. If you're helping someone with something, you'll have to pick up a new skill or something so you can learn the ropes, right? Fall through the cracks, a tough nut to crack. We went back to the drawing board and figured out what we could do. He decided to throw in the towel, but I told him not to give up. To throw in the towel means to give up, right? So my friend was convinced that I decided to throw in the towel, but I told him not to give up and I helped him out, right? So many idioms that can easily be used here. I think there's a limit to the chat. I don't know why there's a word limit to the chat or something. That's probably why you can't. But what, Shivam, that is not an idiom. What are you trying to say? बोलने की क्या कोशिश कर रहे हो मुझे बताओ, and then I will help you out, right? So I'm giving you a sample sentence here with a different idiom. He decided to throw in the towel, but I convinced him not to give up. Okay, it's one way of using this. Sorry. Okay, another sentence you can make is hot water, so you guys know how to do. So I'll use a difficult idiom. So here something bad happened to a friend of yours maybe, and you decided to give them some sort of consolation. You know, like they say, koi baat nahi ho jayega, dil aasa dena. You decided to do that, but you knew that actions speak louder than words. And mere lip service. What does mere lip service over here means? Only saying things, not doing anything. Lip service means simply saying, meethi meethi baatein kar dena, but not really putting in an effort, right? So mere lip service would be of no use. Actions speak louder than words. Okay? These are two examples here. There can be 1,000 examples. So many different idioms can be used here. Yesterday, I met an old man who was alone in an abandoned street. I lent him my hand to do what? You also need to explain what you did. Okay? That's how it will naturally. Don't end. See, again, I'm repeating this. The idiom should not feel like it was added specially there. It should feel like a natural part of the sentence. So you're explaining what you did. I lent him my hand and helped him. Da 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 da. Don't end with the Indian. I don't make fun of your name. I'm saying I don't want to mispronounce it. That's why I said if you can tell me phonetically how to pronounce it correctly, then everybody can learn how to actually pronounce it correctly. I don't want to keep saying it incorrectly. Why would I make fun of your name? I am not some immature child. And in fact, it should make us more culturally aware how to pronounce different names from the country, right? Yes, English best stories, but again, now you're making a mistake of using too many idioms in the same sentence. So I would suggest 2 sentences, 1 idiom is enough. Because if you add too many, it will seem like you've purposely added them. And the thing with idioms is it should not feel like purposely add kiya. Like for example, when we add salt in food, it becomes a part of the gravy, it becomes a part of the dish. But if you put in too much salt, then you can taste it separately. And then that just puts the entire, it's a very off-putting taste overall, right? So the right quantity delicious, extra, off-putting. Same thing with idioms. Put in the right quantity, it will enhance your answer. Put too many, it will make the listener or the examiner a little angry, because it will seem like this was done purposely to impress. And the point of idioms is not to impress the examiner, it's to enhance the meaning of what you're trying to say. Alright? Shivu, you have a basic understanding of English, so it's not like you won't understand anything. Slowly through context. The way we pick up meanings is through context. You'll understand overall what I'm trying to say. Maybe you don't understand 3-4 words in the middle. Slowly, when you listen to that same word again and again in different contexts, you will be able to piece everything together and realize that, oh, this is what the word means, okay? So it will happen gradually and organically. Alright, so that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much. If you found it useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Everything that you've requested, I have kept it in mind. I will give you a video how Hindi medium students can do well in the IELTS and improve their English. Aliet, you can take your screenshots now once the session is over. Shivu, I will answer your queries in a separate video as well. Aman, you have to change the tense also. See, an idiom is given to you in a particular tense, that's the base form, right? But then according to your context, you need to change. So lending somebody your hand, lend him my hand, this is in the present tense. But what you're saying happened in the past. So you lent him your hand, okay? Got it? So remember, you have to change the SVC, the tense. You have to alter the idioms grammatically a little bit to make sure they fit in your sentence properly. Alright? Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, leave the feedback in the comments, and share it with all of your friends. Follow us on our socials so you don't miss out on updates. The timing of the sessions will change a bit next week. You will get to know they'll most probably happen at 2 p.m. So I will see you then. Alright? Take care, everybody. Have a great Sunday. And let's keep working hard. And don't worry, all of you who are concerned that you're not fluent enough. Language is all about familiarity. You keep attending sessions. You keep listening to me. Words will start coming automatically. It's just a matter of effort and time. There is no shortcut. There is no 10 दिन में पूरी English सीख लो. That's not possible. All of this will take time, effort and consistency. Don't miss out on consistency. Even if you think that a lot of words are going over your head, it's okay. Slowly, things will start making sense, right? It's like a puzzle. The beginning is always tough. There are random puzzle pieces everywhere. But once things start coming into place, it keeps getting easier. That's what will happen with language as well. Right now, there are words, you don't understand their meaning, there is grammar, it's all jumbled. But slowly, when the pieces start forming a comprehensive picture, things will get exponentially easier. Suddenly, it will get very easy for you, okay? So just keep at it. Don't stop. Don't give up. Okay? Tomorrow is a holiday, so I will see you on Monday. Alright, we will meet on Monday. And any other questions you have, like I promised, 5-10 minutes I will answer your questions. Yes, English Best Stories, thank you. You have a great day too. Have a great Sunday. Yeah, you don't have to join coaching. I'll tell you the best way to learn English is to watch TV. Watch English shows. Watch English movies. The more you keep watching, slowly, you will start, your vocabulary will improve. Any other, yeah, if the word does not come to mind while speaking, it's okay, Elliot. It won't right now because you don't have enough vocabulary. How will words start coming? Once your vocabulary starts getting better. How will your vocabulary start getting better? When you listen to people who have good vocabulary, when you read stuff, with diverse vocabulary. That's how slowly and steadily your own vocabulary will start getting better, all right? Okay, so I think that's it. I have noted down all your queries, and I will come up with sessions that tackle those problems specifically. So don't worry, I'm here for you. If you need anything else, drop it in the comments. I will read the comments and I will get back to you. All right? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. There is a Telegram group. So if you're not on Discord, but there is Telegram, you can follow us there. Okay?